It's Tuesday, 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 the day that time forgot. You notice I was a little unclear on that first notes because I'd done this. That's the kind of quality, musical exactitude you can expect all evening here in the treehouse. That's right. All evening. Only 60 minutes to go. Remind your friends that, it may be weird, but it's only an hour. And like we said, there's how many is it? 168 hours in a week. Sorry, I had to redo the math in my head there. So, the fact that this is only one, that leaves you 167 to, recover. Cam and Pete. Yes. And Steve Norris. Must always thank Steve Norris because that's the second Cam and Pete mug. The other one's up here in the Hall of Fame. There he is, right there. Up there in the Hall of Fame. Thanks, Ma. I thank my Ma every week, and I'm thanking her for the very fact that I'm here. In case any of you had wondered that. Yeah. Probably none of them had, Bill. Yeah, probably not, Bill. What are you going to do, though, Bill? Yeah, but you can't help your own kind of weird thinking. Dimitro! They're in the house. Swagger. TBR, that comment, Swagger. TBR. Twist River Pug, Rick Lewis, and all the Methowians who may come from near and far. They may not even be Methowians anymore. I heard Leslie Ann Bester is coming back to the area. She's a former Methowian. That's where I met Leslie Ann. Or as she will always be known to me, Freshie. Leslie Ann and I used to do the Farm Fresh Report every week on KOZI Radio. Gary and Mary Schulstad down in Portland. And Eric. Oh. Okay, I got to take a bathroom break here real quick. When's he going to start singing? You never really know that. You never really know when he's going to start singing. It's anybody's guess. It's a week-to-week thing. I don't know.
The perfect moment, the time when she least expects it. You're gonna finally tell her how you really feel. How long you gonna wait for the right word? How long you gonna wait for the right time? Gonna starve while you're waiting on the harvest moon. How long you gonna wait? Waiting for the ride that might not come. Waiting for the day you don't feel dumb. Waiting in the rain is fine for some. How long you gonna wait? You're waiting till you think she's ready. You're waiting till the market's steady. You're waiting till the kids are out of school. You're waiting till you get a haircut. You're waiting till you lose that 10 pounds. You're waiting till you deal with all of your shit. How long you gonna wait? How long you gonna wait for the right word? How long you gonna wait for the right time? Gonna starve while you're waiting on the harvest moon. How long you gonna waiting for the ride that might not come? Waiting for the day you don't feel dumb. Waiting in the rain is fine for some. How long you gonna wait? How long you gonna wait? You're waiting for the next reunion. Though Though they happen only once every 10 years, still you never want to feel that you spoke too soon. How long you're waiting for the hip replacement, and when you're done with the physical therapy, and you can finally walk without that cane, how long you gonna wait? How long you gonna wait for the right word? How long you gonna wait for the right time? Gonna starve while you're waiting on the harvest moon. How long you gonna waiting for the ride that might not come? Waiting for the day you don't feel dumb. Waiting in the rain is fine for some. How long you gonna? You're waiting for the perfect moment, a time when you least expect it. You're gonna finally tell. How long you gonna wait? How long you gonna wait?
There you go. I think we're officially underway here in the treehouse at this time. How is everyone? Everyone. I think that's a little... Okay, I'm back with you now. A couple of technical things there to be dealt with. How was everybody? I don't think I quite heard how everybody is doing. I'm hoping that everyone is doing better than I thought. How's that? Yeah. If everybody here was doing better than I thought they were doing, everybody'd be doing pretty good. That's what I think. How am I doing? Probably better than you thought. Although I'm not sure. Because I'm not really inside your heads that much. Why am I talking like this? It's because I've been reading Lonesome Dove. That's what happens when I read Lonesome Dove. I start saying things like Montani. Thank God, Woodrow. Well, it could very well be another weird evening here in the treehouse, but that'd pretty much be just another evening here in the treehouse. Does someone hear a faint rustling? There may be a rodent loose here. Perhaps I should be looking for... Oh! In fact, it is the hand. Oh, you smell good. Oh, I could have got that. One will always welcome another flourish from the hand. Have you noticed the hand has started to giggle a little more when she comes in? It's an interesting development. I think it's a good idea, actually. Chrissy Chesmore. Bridget Lacey's in the house. Marcia Kester. Greetings, madam. Amber. And Ralphie. It's Ken and Julie and Scott and Rhonda. Okay. See, there's some scratch outs here. Tim and Demetra are here. Scott and Rhonda are here, as are Amber and Ralphie. I think I'm reading that right now. Bill Woolen, Val Sanford, Cindy Snyder, Holly Tuttle and Kim Nelson, Charlotte Henry and Stephen, Rochelle, Rick Lewis, Lori Trout, Katrina Knight, Chrissy Chesmore. Goodness gracious. Hallelujah. We have a quorum. Life is good. What more can I say? Life is good. Everything's groovy. Joyce Hyatt, I see, is now here in the treehouse. Did we have Val Sanford on there? Did we? Val? Val's definitely here. I see Val. Hi, Val. Who else am I saying? Holly Trout Cooper. In the house. Mark Kinney's in the house. Kelly Murphy. I hope that means that Mary's there too. Bridget's here. Val's here. Yeah, I knew you were here. Couldn't see it on my list here. Now, I probably just skipped over it because I'm like that. Well, I know you're on the list. Oh, there you are. All will be well. You know, it's going to be better. Yeah, it's going to be better. It's going to be better. So, like I said, more weirdness, normal. Probably, I don't know whether there'll be more than the normal amount of weirdness. It's early in the show yet. Oh well, let's see how it goes. This song comes from the early days of my professional performing career. When most of the gigs were what we used to call in the vernacular bar gigs. Bar gigs were where you went into a public house, nice public house, but not a public house that was known for its hushed atmosphere. As you know, I mean, most public houses, you don't go in there looking for a hushed atmosphere, right? No. You go in there on a Friday or Saturday night, you want to party with your friends, you want to have a good time, you want to toss back a couple of malt beverages, and, celebrate another successful week having survived whatever might be happening, out there. So, but if you're the musician on the stage trying to sing into this wall of sound, it can be challenging. And, after a while, you kind of learn to let it bounce off your ego. It's not an ego thing after a while. It's like you realize after, 4 or 5 years that it isn't your job to make everybody be quiet and listen to you. That, in fact, is not your job. Basically, you're the guy standing in the corner with the guitar. The fact that you're playing it and singing into microphones and stuff like that may, in fact, be immaterial to the situation because nobody, including you yourself, can hear you. So it's just one of those things. And it's some people might call it paying your dues. For me, it was getting paid to practice because in those days, most places like that offered a guarantee. Usually some of the best money came from the noisiest bars, strangely enough. So that's when this came from. Okay? I hear the beat, I feel the beat, but I'm still stifled by my limitations. See, this guitar, it's brought me far, but it can't handle every situation. Ooh, I wanna go electric. Ooh, it takes bread to go electric. Ooh, won't you help me go electric and let me sing in your bar? But you say I find my seat and watch my feet. They're always jumping 'cause they can't escape the beat. I look at my room, stare at the gloom. Some funky rhythm now would surely be a treat. Ooh, I wanna go electric. Ooh, it's somehow more eclectic. Ooh, won't you help me go electric and let me sing in your bar? It's a nice bar. Nice bar. I could play here. Maybe take us both far. Ooh, I wanna go electric. Ooh, where the music's much more hectic. Ooh, won't you help me go electric and let me sing in your bar? But you say, no way, Jack. You see the doorway. Come back another day. As
someone else. Now ain't that just the way? I mean the way of the world. You assassinate a squirrel backing out of your driveway. And what will the Rabinowitzes say? Sometimes it just don't pay to start your day. Oh, that got a little scary in there. Electric, that's called. Yes, one of those deeply poetic tunes. I use it to show off my college education. Friends, 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 friends. What in fact is going on, Bill? What in fact is going on? We're all just sitting around and watching Bill drink out of several different mugs and wondering why he doesn't have to go to the bathroom even more often. Oh, I wanted to say something. You know that that every week I put up my little whatever you call it, the PayPal thing, the Venmo thing up there. I don't need to make a living doing this. There are a lot of musicians all across this country who have made their living for years by touring, by playing, and it's their main income stream. And they're not able to tour right now. They're not able to travel. And it's been a major impact. And there's a lot of people who are doing live streams, who are trying to replace some of that income by doing live stream shows. They deserve our support. They need our support. I need new strings every once in a while. I bought myself some bandanas, and I still put gas in the car about every 6 months or so. And other than that, and someday I want to record another album. I'll give you that. And yeah, so I save some money for that. But I am not one of those people who depends on income from these shows to sustain me week to week to month to year. So I hope everybody is coming and doesn't feel like they have to throw some money in the tip jar every week. Okay? I just want to reiterate that as a thing. And also, I should point out that if you want to throw in $10, then you should go to the Bandcamp page and get yourself an album. You pay the same money, and you come away with one of my recordings, if you don't have them all already. Which I'm not sure that everyone here has all of them. You know who you are. But anyway, there, if you go to Bandcamp, my Bandcamp page, for $10, I still get the donation, and you get music. It's not a bad deal if you think about it. Even if you don't think about it, it's not that bad of a deal. Yeah. All right. Well, good. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. Sometimes I feel like I would like to talk the whole hour. I know you'd love that. I don't know. This isn't really a January song, but I felt like playing it this week. I just did. So bear with me, please. Staring in through the windows, and he's circling the house as he goes, and he's not trying to make any trouble. He's just doing his job, I suppose, and paying like a 3 a.m. phone call. The doctor say it's all in your head, and paying like a road map of Paris with Quasimodo hiding under the bed. And it's the same sad story with the same dead end. And if we don't want things to go down like that, then we'll have to work together again. We'll have to work together. Now the sun's staring in through the windows, and he's circling the house as he goes, and he's not trying to cause a commotion. He's just doing his job, I suppose. And you're waiting to be further disabled by by torches and pitchforks and tar, with feathers driven down from Nebraska and chicken shit all over the car. And it's the same sad story with the same bad end. And if we don't want things to go down like that, then we'll have to work together again. We'll have to work together, put our heads together. Staring in through the windows, and he's circling the house as he goes. And he's not trying to hurt anybody, he's just doing his job, I suppose. And you don't mean to sound so pathetic, but there's serious things to discuss, like how hatred has tainted the water, both outside and inside of us. And it's the same sad story with the same sad end. And if we don't want things to go down like that, then we'll have to work together again. Put our hearts together, remember how to work together. Ooh, up, up, up. And it's the same sad story with the same dead end. And if we don't want things to go down like that, then we'll have to work together again. Put our hands together, remember how to work together. Ooh, up, up.
That's called The Sun in the Windows.
Yeah, that may be more of a what you call your daylight savings time type song.
Even then it would be Liquid Sunshine currently. Here in the general environs of the treehouse. The general environs. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm reworking the book. I don't know if you heard, but I'm reworking the book. Yeah. You know, I figure I want it to be right. I want it to be right. So I'm reworking the book. It's just the text. It's just the text. It's just the poetry that I'm reworking. The cover is still going to be lovely. Uh-oh. Oops. Sorry, folks. Gonna skip that one tonight. I know, it's like sometimes it just ain't quite there. Gotta have the coordination, And it used to be the right hand that was the problem. Then it was the left hand that was the problem. Now it's, they kind of alternate back and forth, which is nice. It's fairer. So there's enough blame to go around for everybody. That's how I like it. That's how I like things to be, Hello. Look who's here to save the day. Shut up and sing. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Charlotte asks, are you hosting our inauguration warm-up next Tuesday? No pressure, but I'm counting on it. No pressure, but sure, you bet. You bet. I got nothing better to do next Tuesday. You guys? Where was I? Wasn't there something going on? Oh, I tried that song and that didn't work out. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of too bad. You know, if I hadn't brought it up again, you might have forgotten by now. Darn it. Yes. It's kind of how I roll. It's kind of the Billy roll. You know, what was I going to do instead, though? You remember, don't you? Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to try and do something even more difficult. Yes.
I should have seen you sitting next to me. You'd been there all week, though transparently. I felt disaster, it was walking in my blood, tearing through my houses like a raging flood. Well, I saw your face, there was no doubt. You were checking me instead of pulling me out. I heard the tires scream, I felt the metal bend. I was saying to myself, what a sad, sad end. When a crooked grin, a broken stop sign. My whole life you've been hanging on to my time. Your wide eyes, your big surprise, scattering my spine like a bag of frozen French fries. Then all those sailors floating on a silver sea rose out of the pavement and they waved to me. And all those angels from those biblical books, they were boxing my ears while I was digging their looks. I'm not certain which way we spun. I was pinned against the ceiling with my mind unstrung. I felt the hourglass skim me on the side with the sands of life whispering, no more. I cried, a crooked grin, a broken stop sign. My whole life you've been hanging on to my time. Your wide eyes, your big surprise, scattering my spine like a bag of frozen French fries. Maybe some Christmas I will see you again, but maybe I won't care to believe by then. My father told me that love never ends, that if the house gets broken, what good is it then? A crooked grin, a broken stop sign. My whole life you've been hanging on to my time. Your wide eyes, your big surprise, scattering my spine like a bag of frozen French fries.
That was a little ragged around the edges. That was called The Man in the Dead Machine. That was the first title that I stole from Donald Hall way back in the mid-'80s, recounting the demise of a 1972 Dodge Dart swinger named Kevin. That's right. I was driving from my sister's house in Tacoma down to Club Tacoma. Yeah, this has got to be 1985, 86, around in there. I was going to play in Hal Brooks's Breaks down at Club Tacoma. I was cruising down, I think it was Yakima Avenue, but in one of the more residential areas of Yakima before it widens out. Of course, it might be all different now. I haven't driven down Yakima Avenue for some time. And this guy, driving in like a 62 Galaxy 500, one of those old tanks, flew through the stop sign doing probably 40 miles an hour. Almost completely T-boned Kevin, but got him in the front quarter panel on the driver's side. Spun the car, was going this way, and ended up going that way. And kind of tossed me around a little bit. And the first thing I did was, couldn't get out the driver's side, got out the passenger side, went in the trunk to see if my guitar was okay. Guitar was fine. That was Mr. Ya, was the guitar I was playing at that time, Mr. Ya. And Mr. Ya was fine. And then I had to go and, the car was totaled. There was like antifreeze all over the pavement. And I looked up and I saw the 62 Galaxy 500 go. Turned a corner and it was gone. So there I sat, stranded. But I was okay. I was okay. And I felt lucky. So that was called The Man in the Dead Machine. I probably should have told that story before I sang the song. Normally I could sing it again now, but I'm not gonna try that again. I'm sorry. It's the hand-to-hand coordination. Doesn't quite lock in like it once did. And I've been practicing that for a couple of months. Trying it out a couple of times every week just to see if I gotten any closer, you know. I'm working on some other ones in much the same way from around that vintage, because I would love to be able to play these songs again. I'd love for them to be back in my regular set. Songs like Falling Behind, I would love to have it back in my regular set. I tried to play Falling Behind today. Wasn't happening, folks. Wasn't happening. But oh well. I just have to be real intense about it. Then I can play it once for the show, and then then it'll probably disappear again or something. I don't know how these things work. I've never been an old guy before. I don't know how old guy stuff works. Apparently it can be kind of, dicey. Speaking of dicey, is Tim still here? Because we need to blame him for what's about to happen here. Cindy Clark. Cool. Holly. Jamie Turner. Got two Hollies in the house. We got Holly Tuttle and Holly Trout Cooper. Yeah, you guys should get to know each other. They're both great people. You'll like each other. I can guarantee it. Tim Swigger said, you know what you ought to do, Bill? You ought to just go like this in front of your poetry shelf and just grab something. That way you wouldn't have to agonize every week about having something. Because, you got shelves full of poetry. You must like it all, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. So I did that. And I actually, because they're skinny, I actually pulled out two books, but they're by the same author. That author is Ron Padgett. Ron Padgett. I pulled out How to Be Perfect and How Long by Ron Padgett. So we're going to get some Ron Padgett tonight. But I got to move my easy chair over. That's right, friends. Another sign that the old bones are kind of little stove up. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of stove up. That's a term my dad used to say. Yeah, I'm going to be all stove up tomorrow. I did a lot of work today. I'm going to be stove up tomorrow. That's what he said. He didn't say it like that, though. He didn't speak like that. He didn't speak like he'd been reading Lonesome Dove going up to Montaigne. Okay, we're going to start from How Long. Ron Padgett. He's considered a member of the New York School. I think he goes with Kenneth Koch, John Ashbery, Frank O'Hara. I don't know, is Ted Berrigan kind of part of that school, kind of so to speak? Who else are the biggies? Who are the other biggies? James Schuyler. Yeah. Anyway, Ron Padgett. I love his stuff. This is called, strangely enough, Scotch Tape Body. Scotch Tape Body. I never thought, 40 years ago, taping my poems into a notebook, that one day the tape would turn yellow, grow brittle, and fall off, and I'd find myself on hands and knees groaning as I picked up pieces up off the floor one by one. Of course, no one thinks ahead like that. If I had, I would have used archival paste, or better yet, not have written those poems at all. But then I wouldn't have had the pleasure of reading them again, the pleasure of wincing and then forgiving myself, of catching glimpses of who I was and who I thought I was. The pleasure, is that the word, of seeing that that kid really did exist. I love that poem. I think we've experienced me going through that very thing here in the treehouse as I read some of my old stuff, my older stuff, some of my new stuff too, probably. Because, I'm almost 63. I still feel like a young poet. And I've been writing poetry as long or longer than I've been writing songs. I don't know. This is called The Death Deal. Ever since that moment, when it first occurred to me that I would die, like everyone on Earth, Hi.
Hayden Reese is in the house.
Hayden Reese is in the house.
And he said, pick out some Robert Bly.
Oh. Well, Hayden, you're a little late here. I've been meaning to do Robert Bly. I got quite a bit right up there in the B section. But I already did my blind test and I pulled out Ron Padgett. What you need to do is you need to do a documentary about Ron Padgett. Hayden Reese is a amazing documentary filmmaker. He made the film Every War Has Two Losers. He made the film William Stafford and Robert Bly, A Literary Friendship. And he also made the documentary about Robert Bly, the title of which is escaping me. Oh, this is not the moment for that to have happen. It's not the moment to have a senior moment. But it seems to be the moment that I'm having one. I'm sorry about that, Hayden. But we love all of these films. And, if I felt comfortable swinging around and grabbing some Robert Bly, I sure would. Maybe next week, if you promise to come back. How's that? Okay. The death deal. Ever since that moment, when it first occurred to me that I would die, like everyone on Earth, I struggled against this eventuality, but never thought of how I'd die exactly. Until about 30, I made a mental list. Hit by car, shot in head by random ricochet, crushed beneath boulder, victim of gas explosion, head banged hard and fall from ladder, vaporized in plane crash, dwindling away with cancer, and so on. I tried to think of which I'd take if given the choice, and came up time and again with, he died in his sleep. Now that I'm officially old, though deep inside not old officially or otherwise, I'm oddly almost cheered by the thought that I might find out in the not-too-distant future. Now for lunch. That's about how I think of death anymore. Lunch! Lunch! This one's called Kit. This is for all the lit majors in the house. Tamburlaine crashed through around 1375. Marlowe had written his play by 1587. The intervening years bled into history, the 14th a very bloody century. Good that Marlowe waited to be born sufficiently later, thus avoiding the real Tamburlaine, who might have torn his head off. But he died young anyway, did Marlowe, not even 30. The high astounding terms he promised, he delivered. Still, it makes me mad that he got stabbed to death, though I have to admit it's part of his appeal. See, now I got it in my head that I could have picked Robert Bly. This could have been the Bly night with Hayden in the house. Oh boy. This is called The Curvature of Royalty. One of the surprising things about modern life is that quite a few countries still have kings and queens and palaces for them to live in, as well as great wealth to use or even have. These kings and queens accept the idea that they should be kings and queens, just as many people born to money accept their wealth as natural, and most poor people assume that poverty is their destiny, no matter what they say to the contrary. Everything points toward fate. And rocks as they are, the clouds too, the giraffe and the cantaloupe are all lined up, facing an imaginary point of origin that lines in a diagram of perspective, and though the lines bend slightly through time, everyone bends with them, so the dung beetle remains a figure of comedy. Further along the chain of evolution, here comes the court jester, juggling words and jumping around in debris of falling syntax. The king laughs mightily, the queen quietly, for though they have become playing cards, they still can be amused, and at any moment they can roll off the cards and onto the floor of their palace, where they can laugh all they want, and the servants will keep looking straight ahead. Yeah. Where's that other one I wanted? Oh. Oh no, I know. It's in the other book. It's in the other book, Bill. Try to keep your head on straight, Bill. Ah, here we go. This one's called Sea Shanty. Hello, sailor. I hear you are sailing on a craft across the water, crossing the big blue liquid that is green and gray, and sometimes boiling with lobsters and other seafood that roaring with laughter King Neptune sends swirling up through vertical currents in his ocean domain, at the bottom of which he sits on a seashell throne, holding a small goat on his face, most unpleasantly. So when you go floating across the briny deep, never visit the bottom, even if you have bubbles and rubber tubes and plenty of life inside your body. Remember that goat. Yeah, he's just like that. He's just like that. That's what he's like. What are you going to do? I love this one too. This is called This for That. What will I have for breakfast? I wish I had some plums, like the ones in Williams's poem. He apologized to his wife for eating them, but what he did not do was apologize to those who would read his poem and also not be able to eat them. That is why I like his poem when I am not hungry. Right now I do not like him or his poem. This is just to say that. Love the way that echoes. See, Ron Padgett, he's been around for all this time. He's earned the right to be like this. Maybe. Okay. The Stapler. When my mother died, she left very little. Old clothes, modest furniture, dishes, some change, and that was about it. Except for the stapler. I found it in a drawer stuffed with old bills and bank statements. Right off, I noticed how easily it penetrated sacks of paper, leaving no bruise on the heel of my hand. It worked so well I brought it home, along with a box of staples, from which only a few of the original 5,000 were missing. The trick is remembering how to load it. It takes me several minutes to figure out each time, but I persist until, oh yes, that's it. Somewhere in all this, my mother is spread out and floating like a mist so fine it can't be seen, and the idea of wafting, the opposite of stapler. There you go. Ron Padgett. Pulled at random from the shelves. See, there's more poetry over here. This isn't all the poetry. No. This only goes to about the letter O. Over here is where the rest of the alphabet lives. Right. That's how I know that Robert Bly is right up there. Right up there where I missed him completely today. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So let's see. What do you got in mind now, Bill? I was thinking about this one, Bill.
This one says 1,000 Years of Joy.
The Haydn Reese film, the Robert Bly film, was called 1,000 Years of Joy. In case you need to see a printed version of that title, My Sentence Was 1,000 Years of Joy is the name of one of Robert Bly's books. The film was called 1,000 Years of Joy, and it is an amazing kind of career-spanning documentary about Robert Bly and his work and his many admirers. This one's called Father to Father Number 2.
wrote this down 'cause I said I would. Still doesn't fit that you're gone for good, and there's a couple of strange developments I knew you'd want to know. It snowed this year like in '91, but winter chores are left undone as Sue and I, we fill our time with the little one. You follow me as I follow you, and I wish you could tell me what to do so I could think before I ignored you. Yes, she'll be 2 in a couple weeks, all fiery eyes and flowery cheeks, and she's turned me into someone else who I remember well. We're all children here inside this skin, still treated like it's a mortal sin, and mortality's the truth, all right. And what a way to go. You follow me as I follow you, and I wish you could tell me what to do so I could think before I ignored you. You follow me as I follow you, and I wish you could tell me what to do so I could think before I ignored you. But I still got my dignity. I'm on my lips. My mommy is calling me. I'm on my lips. Let's speak in broader terms. I'm on my lips. Roll over this bed of worms. You see, I'm gonna write a book about it. Read the ledgers red. Retired to Micronesia. Put a bullet in my head. I'm on my lips. I'm on my lips. My eyes don't focus right. I'm on my lips. Guess I'm afraid they might. I'm on my lips. Just look at these toasted clothes. I'm on my lips. Not to mention the bloody nose, 'cause I've been beaten up and brutalized by things that I have said, and now I'm doing my level best to place my face beneath the tread. I'm on my lips. I'm on my lips. Yes, sir. And night on night I try to think up an alibi. Whoa, whoa, honey, and night on night I try to learn to say goodbye. I'm on my lips. It's not a real gun. I'm on my lips. They wouldn't sell me one. I'm on my lips. Must have been my checkered past. I'm on my lips. Maybe the body cast. I got rope and dope and plastic caps to see me to the end. But if I'm gonna find a match, I might be forced to make a friend. I'm on my lips. I'm on my lips right now, yours and night on night I try to think up an alibi. La 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 hottie. And night on night I try E-I-O to learn to say goodbye. 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 I to hit it.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, buddy. That's how that goes. That's how that one goes, Bill. Yeah. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, hi. There you are. Yep. That's right, friends. That's right, friends.
I've got nothing but these tired hands, modern lovers in a foreign land. It's the narrow gate where we rejuvenate. Slender shoulders lean away from me, bits of crystal drop into the sea. It's romantic fate where we rejuvenate. Ticking clocks that seem to seep right in, creeping silences that chill the skin. Just accelerate where we rejuvenate. Watching years like TV shows, where they begin and end, no one knows. Is it early or late? Where we rejuvenate. Where we rejuvenate. Look at her, she's a flyer who loops through the past. Look at me, I'm a coward lashed to the mast. Park the car beneath the shedding tree. Only dead ones are getting free. It's a vast estate where we rejuvenate. I still remember what my parents said. Patience breaking like daily bread. Can we hold the weight where we rejuvenate? Where we rejuvenate. Look at her, she's a flyer who loops through the past. Look at me, I'm a coward lashed to the mast. I've got nothing but these tired hands, modern lovers in a foreign land. It's the narrow gate where we rejuvenate. Where we rejuvenate. Where we rejuvenate.
There you go. That's called The Narrow Gate. That one snuck back onto the set list a couple months ago. Yeah. Yes, indeed. I think I got one more, folks. Got one more in me tonight. Whoops. Just got Les Paul marching powder all over myself. Come on, Les. Could use a lot less of Les right now. gummed up the works. This one was on a compilation album back in 91, 92, around in there.
Charlotte wants a Diane song.
Is there a particular one she wants?
Now I have to go back and see.
Oh. Hey, Diane song, please. Diane song. All of them? All of them. All of them.
All of them.
I heard that. Well, this will probably be better anyway. Yeah, than what I was planning to do. This is the title track from the most recent recording, and this song was written. Well, it was started probably about a couple of months after my my MS diagnosis. Lori Trout was there. She heard this for a long time before it ever took shape as a song, and so I probably had the guitar figure before my diagnosis. Anyway, the diagnosis was very scary for the first couple of months. Made me very scared. Not only just not, it wasn't so, because it's not terminal, so I wasn't scared of death, but it made me more scared about the space between here and there, Which I was just getting to a place where I was realizing that's really the scary thing, is the time between here and the other end. The other end is probably, who knows? Nobody does. But it's actually been way better than I was imagining at that time. And but this song was kind of written out of that scared time. It's called Night Sky, and I will close with this evening. Under the glittering pins of the night sky, walking alone on a path we have memorized. They say getting older is not for the meek, we can testify. Fooled into thinking our demons would retreat, they're still standing by.
Whatever's left of my time I will give to you. Promises made in the past never rang so true. And maybe our way will be testing and cold, maybe heavenly. One of us left with just memories to hold. Will you hold me? You will hold me. Under the visiting shade of the rising moon, breeze and a wind chime singing a sad tune. Silvery cloud like a glimpse of your hair, this is lyrical. Strands of our love spreading out on the night air like a miracle. Like a miracle. Under the glittering pins of the night sky. There you go, folks. There you go, friends. Little scatterbrained. Tried a couple. Didn't all work. What are you going to do? Can't all be perfect, right? If it was perfect, I could have pre-recorded it. And then I could have corrected all the mistakes, edited out all the goofy parts. That wouldn't be the treehouse now, would it? No, sir. No, sir, it would not. I'd be halfway to Montana by now. That's right. Next week, Hayden, if you're still there. Robert Bly. Yeah, we could definitely do Robert Bly next week. Especially if we knew Hayden was coming. Especially if we knew Hayden was coming. Guys, thank you for holding me up once more. Keeping me, propping me up. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I should mention, there were a couple of birthdays this week, so everybody gathered around the ICU2 TV and said, come on, real quick now. Gary Benson, local musician of note, having a birthday today. Tomorrow, Lisa Markley. Yes, from up there in upstate New York, where she's living with her partner, Bruce, and making great music and teaching great music and being a wonderful human being. Yes, she's having a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Lisa. She's got a Tacoma connection, too. Yes, indeed. On Thursday, we got a whole raft of folks, starting with Scott Casu, local keyboard legend. Lynette Westendorf, who is a keyboard legend in the Methow Valley and also an amazing composer, jazz pianist, classical pianist, piano teacher, just an all-around amazing human being. Lynette, happy birthday on Thursday. Bob Christopher of KOZI Radio back in the days when I was there. Happy birthday on Thursday to you, Bob. Ellis Paul, a musician, one of those guys who does make his living from touring. So if you see a Ellis Paul live stream, and he does several of them, support him. As is Babs Lamb. Babs Lamb is also a traveling musician who could use our support at this time. Nothing on Friday that I could find. I guess there are no birthdays on January the 15th. Okay. But Saturday we got Jill Van Vliet. Is having a birthday on Saturday. Chris Chandler, noted poet and raconteur and also a traveling player who could use our support at this time. Chris Chandler is having his birthday on Saturday. Nothing on Sunday. No birthdays on the 17th, apparently. But on Monday, the 18th, we got Chip Kimball and Kathleen Hirschstein from up there in the Methow. Chip Kimball is a world-renowned educator
Yes, he's been all over the world educating folks. And he's married to the big guy's little sister, Cheryl. Yeah, who I've known since she was a little sister. Yeah. So happy birthday to Kim and to Kathleen on Monday. And we'll be back on Tuesday for your Inauguration Eve extravaganza. We'll have bunting everywhere. It's going to be a no holds barred kind of situation. You're not going to want to miss a moment of it. Or maybe you'll want to miss all the moments of it. I'm not sure. But regardless, I'll be here. The hand will be here. We hope that you will be too. Thanks again for making this my survival technique during these weird and strange and unprecedented times. We'll do it again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, everybody. Thank you.